Good afternoon, everyone. McDonald's now, paper bag shortages, moving to trays, but the fear is no more to-go customers. A glimpse at mega-drought covering so many crops in the U.S., durum wheat, sunflower areas, alfalfa, and we'll run through a few more. Massive hailstones repeating from the 1600s, accounts of wooden structures being smashed into the mud. Modern version windshields. Ever wonder what a lightning strike looks like ripping through your car? Now we know. Kind of like the Great Reset ripping through our civilization. Unwanted and destructive. New studies show that by the time people reach their middle ages, the body often produces less than half of the collagen it did in their youth. Collagen is the main building block in our skin, making up 70 to 80% of it. This is why we get sagging skin and wrinkles as we age. If you want to look younger, you must supplement collagen, which will improve your skin's elasticity, make it smoother, more plump, and more youthful looking. That's why Ageless Multi-Collagen provides 5 key types of collagen you need from 4 different sources, essential to optimally support an array of full-body benefits. No odor, no taste, no clumping, unlike other collagen supplements. And this is why I recommend Health with Adapt 2030. Ageless Multi-Collagen, and look at that, I need another bag already. Quick way for youthful appearance. Use the link in the description box below for 51% off my favorite Ageless Multi-Collagen. And now on with the video. And we're going to start over here with yet another shortage. This time McDonald's facing tight supplies of paper to-go bags. It's the latest in a string of probably 100 supply chain challenges across all of the multinational companies delivering your very last choice called fast food. Supermarkets close, you could still go to the fast food restaurant. Once those close, you're out of options. So if you own a McDonald's franchise, everything's supplied for you, but now they're telling these restaurant/franchise owners they need to limit the orders of paper bags from the suppliers. And in black and white, this year's buying patterns from the populace is running far ahead of last year's. So you can see similar trends across fast food. This is the default people are moving over to. Cheap and easy. Problem is, cheap and easy with all these fast food chains are running out of product. Scarce items, costs are continuing to rise. We're looking at another 18% increase in food prices by the end of the year. Already, quote unquote, 6% from last year. But if you've been to the supermarket, 6%. That's unheard of. That's a bargain. That is a sale item at 6% increase from last year. And also that I've done videos through the last couple months here about Starbucks, Taco Bell, Chipotle, all running into the same type of supply chain constraints with foods, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, buns, everything. So here is the question that should be asked. These supply chain challenges are going to continue as more lockdowns occur. So these fast food restaurants, as the last ditch for an enormous amount of the public, when they run out of paper bags, how will they serve food on the go to customers, or will they just simply close operations? There's a Hardee's a couple miles from where I live. They're only running 5 days a week right now because lack of staff and lack of goods coming into that fast food chain at the moment. They've decided 5 days a week is all they can literally afford to run. What if this is the norm? Fast food restaurants only open 5 days a week? That's going to be a huge problem for the populace that doesn't cook or doesn't have the means to get to stores to cook, because food prices are going to continue to rise. They're looking at a good 20% now officially loss of corn crops in Brazil, a 70% loss of coffee in Brazil along with sugar. They're going to drive global food prices on the commodities level to higher and higher levels. Overlapping here, the mega-drought is considered by the U.S. Drought Monitor that you're hearing about in the news as code red. Durum wheat areas overlaid in the drought areas. Durum wheat, that's the pasta wheat. expect prices up. Now, sunflowers, you might think, well, sunflowers, I don't eat sunflower seeds. An enormous amount of goods are made with sunflower oil. 86% of sunflower production in the drought zone. Price is up on that again. Alfalfa hay. And you go, what? I don't take those alfalfa supplements. Who cares? The animal husbandry industry, cattle, goats, chickens in a pinch. 64% of alfalfa hay acreage experiencing drought. That means more input cost into raising animals, which means, you got it, output costs are higher, meat prices up, barley, your beer price is going to rise. Hops has also been crushed this year, so you get the double whammy on beer production. 84% of barley in the drought area. And the all-around usable spring wheat used in everything. 99% of that is in the drought area. Dismal yields this year, taking us back to the 1970s. Same with the durum wheat. Lowest production in almost 40 years. So what do you think the prices, where do you think they're going to go? Because this drought is not letting up. Another La Nina is intensifying right on the back of another La Nina. It's solar cycle driven. This drought is here for some time. So are your increasing food prices. Let's jump over to Germany. Now, you know, talking about the modern minimum, there were an enormous amount of stories of such large hailstones, which would 5 to 10 pound hailstone range, that would crush villages and wooden buildings into the mud. And this was a very common occurrence in the modern minimum, say 1640 to 1680, that intensification period, and right in the center there of that grand solar minimum. Lo and behold, we're getting 2-pound hailstones dropping out of the sky and a 15-mile wide front. 4 minutes of this, and insurance companies are nearly bankrupt. You're looking at the giant splashes on the ground, looking like cannonballs that are causing the mist to rise out. And you can see clearly where they're dropping in on the front yard, causing that type of splash. How big do you think those hailstones are? Well, after the event, driving down the highway for 15 miles, which is about 25 kilometers, this is all that was seen. Crushed windshields, broken infrastructure, and insurance companies biting their fingernails knowing they would have to pay out in Europe and some expensive vehicles. And one thing I did notice looking through all the images here, the trucks seem to be spared the most. You'd think they would be the most heavily damaged with the windshields being so large. I think it was because the windshields are flat and those hailstones just pounded right down onto the hood of the vehicle, whereas you can see the pedestrian vehicles, that angle can catch that hail so much more easily. And I was shocked. Almost every image I look at where there's a 18-wheel rig running through, their windshields weren't damaged that heavily. So if you're looking at wind shear or possibilities, and when you're looking at damage in vehicles, lightning strike straight through the windshield here. Don't care what the angle is on that, lightning's going through it. Interior, total destruction, empty car hit by lightning in a dealership, Centerline, Michigan. And we always have that story of, oh, the lightning won't go in because you got the tires and you're insulated. Well, if you're in there and the lightning comes through like that, you still have the heat to deal with. It's almost like the Great Reset. You're driving along on a blue sunny day and suddenly out of the blue, bolt comes screaming through your existence, through our society, through our civilization, melting the old, shattering, breaking down. Oh, we have to repair it. Has to be built anew. So I don't think changing a couple of fuses is really going to solve this problem here, will it? That's a total rebuild. And incidents like this are going to become more and more common as the extremes intensify with the second magnetic field as the Earth passes right into that lineup of Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune that hasn't been seen since 79 AD for these next 3 years of intensification at the peak point of October 2024. Are you ready for that? Because between now and then, food prices up, food instability in the grow seasons, and the planting harvesting times, Out-of-season storms are going to wipe out even more crops. You might want to think about some long-term storable foods. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030 is a 3-month emergency food supply, 25-year shelf life. Give yourself the peace of mind knowing you have storable foods. In the event of any emergency, you can wait it out until conditions improve. That link's in the description box below. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video, and I'll see you next time.